your idol, living in your mind now. Too late, cause you're mine. Welcome to the tutorial for the hats. Today I'll be showing you how to make a smaller one if you have a smaller pet, or if you want to put them on headphones, or a larger one if you have a larger pet. Or I suppose if you want to wear it, be a funny photo op to look like the bird or Derpy the tiger. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first we are going to be starting with our black yarn, and it's up to you what type you'd like. I'm using 4-ply, and this is Big Twist Pound Plus. It's always cheaper when you buy it in bulk. Today I'm using a 5mm hook, but I'd recommend you actually use 4. Sadly, I don't have a 4mm on hand right now. Yes, I do own lots of hooks, but I don't happen to have a 4mm. So first we're going to start with a magic ring, and I'll show you how I do it if you don't know this technique. So I pinch it right, I do a little finger gun, I pinch it, I wrap my yarn around, and I make an X. Then I turn my hand over, I hold it down, right? I take my hook, I go under the first loop and over the second loop, I pull through, and then now what I'm going to do is, see how I twisted like this? I'm going to take my yarn over here, I'm going to pull it through. And there we have our magic ring, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is, oh, by the way, with this, we can pull it smaller if you need to. I'm going to chain 2, right? So I had 1 chain already, chain once more, and I'm going to make 13 double crochet. So here I'm making my first one, my second one, my third one, my fourth one, my fifth one, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and finally 13. Now with all 13 loops, I'm going to pull my magic ring closed. Then now I'm going to go into the first double crochet and make a slip stitch. And what I like to do is, when I make my slip stitch, I pull it like this, and you see how the slip stitch is getting smaller? Then I chain 2 for beginning the next round. In next round, we will be making 13 double crochet increases, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this gap between. I find that making the slip stitch smaller helps me when I am making my double crochet increases, because the gap that is between the one we went into here, that typically leaves like a little open part, if that makes sense. The gap that is there seems to be pretty big, so by making the slip stitch smaller and just going into it as an increase instead is much better, I'd say. After I finish my last double crochet increase, I'm once again going to make a slip stitch to my first double crochet. Then I'm going to pull that slip stitch tight, chain 2, and now this is the top of the hat. Now we will be working downwards into the back loops only of all our stitches. So I'm going to go first into the gap one in between. It might be a bit more difficult, but trust me, it looks a lot better. Just like that. And I'm going to go double crochets all around. Once you've finished your last one, you're going to make a slip stitch into your first double crochet, pulling it tight, chaining 2. Then now I'm going to make 2 more rounds of 26 double crochet. So remember, I'm going to that gap as my first one, and I'm just going around and making double crochet. Now that I've finished my 4th round, I'm going to slip stitch and chain 2, and now work my 5th round, which is the same exact thing as the 4th round. Once I am finished, I will meet you back. Okay, now that I've finished round number 5, we are going to be making one more round for the length of the hat, I suppose. And in this round, it's quite simple. We are going to be making 12 double crochet increase. So I'm going to make 12 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm going to make a double crochet increase. Just like that, and we're going to do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and in our last stitch, I'm going to make the increase. Okay, now I'm going to make a slip stitch in my first double crochet, tight, and then I'll chain 2. Okay, I'm sorry if I went by too fast, but after you have done round number 6, we are now going to make the brim of the hat. And to do this, we're going to be making double crochet increase in all of the front loops of our stitches, all these front ones. We went into the back stitches for over here, now we're going to go in all the front ones. So the first one, right, is this gap 1, so I'm going to go into here. So I'm going to be making a double crochet. Now in the next one, I'll make a double crochet increase. And now I will repeat that 14 more times. So double crochet, double crochet increase, oh no, I have a knot in my yarn. I just did double crochet, so I'm going to do a double crochet increase. Oh, let me guys know if you have seen Kpop Demon Hunters. Well, obviously you probably have, considering the fact that you're doing this hat. Or maybe you're doing it for a friend who really likes the movie. Once you're at the end of the round, now you're going to make a slip stitch and chain 2. Oh my gosh, you can hear my yarn squeaking. Oh, what a crochet egg. Okay, so now for our final round, round number 8, we are going to be making double crochet, double crochet, double crochet increase. So that's 2 double crochet increase. 1, 2, the squeaking, and now double crochet increase. And we are going to repeat that 14 times. Okay, so once you've gotten to the end, like always, we're going to slip stitch. But this time we are chaining 1, and before we snip off our yarn, we are actually going to go to the center, and we're going to go to the center here to stitch this closed by making slip stitches along these. Okay, so in these rows of double crochet, we are going to just go along the stitches, along the side of it, and make slip stitches. I'm using my nail as support. Once I get into the back loop of round 4, now I'm going to chain 2 as I would starting a new round. Oops. Now in this round we have 28 stitches, so I'm going to be making 14 double crochet decreases. I'm going to do all of these in the back loop only of round 4. Okay, so once you have finished making all your decreases, it should look something like this. Then now, in the next round, we will once again make decreases all the way around. So we will make 7 double crochet decreases. And I'm starting in the gap as we've been doing. My first post, my second post, double crochet decrease. Make 6 more. Okay, now that I've finished my 7th one, you're going to get your stuffing and you're going to fill it in the gap. So I'm squishing it up into a ball and I'm going to stuff it in here. Ta-da! Okay, now I'm going to make a slip stitch to my first decrease. Pull it tight, chain 1, and now I'm going to leave a long tail. We're going to each of these 7 loops by going in, pulling our yarn through. Going in, pulling our yarn through. And as you can see, when we begin to pull it, it gets tighter. So in my last stitch right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it through. Then I'm going to wrap around, pull through like I'm chaining 1. Then it secures the yarn in place. Then I can just pull the extra yarn through. Just like that. There we have our hat base, yay! We are going to make the straps, I suppose, for the hat. We're going to take our black yarn, and now you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to make a chain of 200. It seems like a lot, but you've got this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 200. Okay. Once you've finished 200 stitches, chains, you're then going to snip it off. You're going to go in through sides here, like that, diagonally across, and then pull our chain through. Ta-da! Ugh, extra fuzz. And then from here you can just pull it evenly so that both sides are the same length. And the trick is to grab both so that you can make sure they are evenly aligned. Now we can just tie it into a bow. And you can try it on your puppy or your kitty. And they'll look so cute, just like Derpy the tiger would if he actually wore the hat. Okay, so to begin making our smaller hat, this one can go on headphones, or if you have a smaller dog or a baby kitten, you want a little baby hat, this would be very adorable. So to start, we're going to make our little finger gun, hold our yarn, wrap around, make an X, flip it over, hold it, go under, over, pull through. I'm going to twist, then I'm going to grab the yarn from over here, pull through. There we have our chain 1. Then now I'm just going to chain once more. So we have our second one. Now I'm going to be making 13 double crochets all around. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to pull my magic ring closed. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slip stitch in my first double crochet. But what I'm going to do here is, after I made my slip stitch, this loop that the slip stitch was, this loop that made the slip stitch, I'm going to pull it closed so it's tight. I'm going to chain 2, and now we will be making 13 double crochet in the back loops only. So I'm going to go into this first one, and I'm going to go into the back loop here. So that's my first double crochet, and I'm going to make 12 more. Okay, once you have finished your last one, you're going to make a slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now we'll chain 2. Now we will be making one more row of 13 double crochet. Okay, after you've made 13, you're now going to make a slip stitch to your first double crochet, tighten that, chain 2, and now we will be making 12 double crochet increase. So I'm going to go through my first one, 2, 3. So basically all we're doing is we're making double crochets, and then in the last stitch we're going to be making a double crochet increase. This one, gonna make a double crochet increase. Now I'm going to make a slip stitch to my first double crochet, make a tight slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2. And now we will be working in all the front loops of our double crochets. So all these front ones, since we did the back loops here, we're going to do the front ones here for the brim of the hat. So I'm going to be making 14 double crochet increases. So that's one increase. I'm going to make 13 more. upper shape. Then you're going to chain 2. And for this round, we will be making double crochet increase 14 times. So we're going to make a double crochet into this first one and make a double crochet increase. And we will repeat this 14 times. So across these 2 rows of double crochet, I'm going to go into my stitches and I'm going to slip stitch, and I'm using my nail to help me get through. Just like this. Once I get to the back loop of round 4, then I'm going to chain 2, and in this round we are going to be making 7 double crochet decreases. So I'm going to use my first one here, the one that I did a slip stitch into, to my first post, wrap around, go through the second post, and then wrap around, go through all 3 to make a double crochet decrease. I'm going to make 6 more of these. Okay, after my last double crochet decrease, in the gap right here, I'm sorry, my camera's not picking this up, we are going to add a bit of stuffing. Now I'm going to go into my first double crochet decrease, make a tight slip stitch, chain 1, then I'm going to fasten off with a little extra bit of yarn so that we can close it. Now you can see the stitches, but my hands look neon. We're going to go into each of these stitches by pulling our yarn through. So in this first one, I'm going to pull my yarn through. Then this next one, pull my yarn through, if I can. The next one, pull my yarn through. And as you can see, as we're pulling it through, it is cinching closed. And now in this one right here, or really anywhere I suppose, I'm just going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to chain 1, like that. Yay! I'm going to go into the body of the hat, where all the stuffing is, and I'm going to pull the yarn through, so I can stuff the yarn in with all the stuffing. No, get in there. Okay, kind of tedious, but there we have our hat. Yay! And now to have the hat attach, we need the strap. So I'm going to make a chain, and depending on the size of your puppy, kitty, or if you're making this for headphones to put on top. Okay, that's better. You are going to do a chain of 50 for headphones, and you're going to do a chain of either 200 if you have a large pet. If you have a smaller pet, do about 125. I'm going to show you what you're going to do. So going to take your hat, and then through the sides here of the center last row we did, we're going to go in like this diagonally, and we're going to pull our chain through, just like that. Kind of cute, the way that the straps are, but I think with the longer straps, tying it on as a bow is sweet, but just doing a chain of 50 is also nice, because then you can just double knot it. Plus with your hair in the way and whatnot, and when it's on your head, it'll sit better when it's just double knotted. But it's cuter with a bow for pictures, so that's what I did. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe for more, and here is a little video of my model